Welcome, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans, to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Duckling Boot Camp 2024 204. We got a shard hunt with a floor and entrance randomizer shuffle. This is going to be fun. With me in the booth today, we got Sonny Wrath with our tracker Giganaut and our restreamer Oslato. Sonny Wrath, when you're back from getting yourself some sip, what are we looking at with these parties and blursies?
Oh boy, I actually got back right as you finished that intro. We have some interesting parties here. We have Thief Fighter White Black over on Shum's side and Thief Fighter Red Black over on Jay's side. So let's go with the three that they have in common. The Fighter has Telemagic and plus 10 hit percent. The Thief has improved Cat Claw and Elemental Magic. So pretty good Thief there. The Black Mage has plus 80 HP and plus 1 MP level all, so very early spell access for the Black Mage. The Red Mage on Jay Sheidel's side has Elemental plus Magic, so has the tier 3 elemental spells and can hurt undead innately. Whereas the White Mage over on Shum's side has plus 25 agility and resists death and poison elements. So that White Mage gonna be a little harder to kill than normal, especially if we see some insta-kill spells.
Or Kraken too, because you know that agility is specifically to protect from Kraken too.
I mean, when in doubt, Invis 2 as well.
Indeedly do. But that's two elemental sweeper casters for Shumbabi, which I kind of like. Or sorry, for Jay Sheidel with the Red Mage and the Fighter up for, or the Thief. Depending on what the magic rolls, that could be huge.
Potentially 2 Dukers, which is super nice. But, as we mentioned earlier, this is going to be entrance and floor shuffle, so what you are used to normally seeing is not going to be the case anymore. The only thing that is not shuffled in, if I remember correctly, are towns, so the towns are going to be the only vanilla locations. Everything else, though, is all based on what the randomizer rolls, and in this case, Wadaz Lodo decided to roll our runners tonight. It's going to be interesting to see, and I believe we're going to be off here in about 10, maybe 15 seconds.
There's plenty of options for the runners to go, because we get a free bridge and the free ship, so the Inner Sea is their oyster from the get-go, plus the tail, so if promotion is found, if they can dig out Bahamut, they can get upgraded and get access to some better weapon and gear.
And with that, we should be off. And Shum immediately goes in to Canaria Castle, finds Topher, and is going to make use of that elemental magic. We do see that some extra items are turned on. A blast is going to get used, dealing 140 damage. Ice 2 is going to come out, finishing off Garland for Shum and getting everybody some early levels. Level 1 Black Magic I completely missed, though.
That was Nuke at level 1 Black Magic, my good sir. Jay Sheidel, happy to find that. We also had Dark, Hold, and Saber.
So, that Thief, once promoted to a Ninja, can very well get itself off the ground and running. But it all depends upon how early Bahamut is found. Shum, having finished off Temple of Fiends, is checking to see what the hint giver says and talks about a crown, and that's about it.
Now, I've always found it weird. Ooh, Invis 2 and Fog 2 at level 1 White. That is actually good magic to see. Fog 2 is often slept on. It adds Absorb.
The way that I remember how much Absorb Fog adds is it is 1 copper bracelet's worth of Absorb, and that is a neutral copper bracelet, 8 Absorb per cast. So if you happen to go without Invis 2, you can make Fog 2 work just as well.
Shumbabi, our first runner, to head up. Gonna go ahead and take the ship towards Matoya's cave, not wanting to go on foot anywhere. And hey, the seas are bags with Nuke. Thank you, Oslato. Shumbabi now on foot.
Beautiful start already. We see something with Nuke. I like this. I'm all for this. All right. heading into the Temple of Fiends entrance to find, oh gosh, Volcano.
That was lit too on the Gur amps, by the way.
Yeesh. So we see a volcano floor into greater than less than over on Jayshai's side, where Shum finds Canaria Castle over here at Dwarf Cave. What are the Royals going to yield? The Oxy Ale as well as the canoe!
The world is our runner's oyster. Short of having access to the key to get the incentive item out of Canaria Locked, having that early find on Toph in Carnaria Castle, ironically enough, does give them access to the princess's item.
You know, you mentioned the incentives. What do we have incentivized? Because we did not go over that. If you still have the flags pulled up.
I do not have the flags pulled up. I do, however, have our tracker notes. If I were to trust our tracker, it looks like standard items, other items that are incentivized. That's what I'm going to check.
I still have the flags
The
pulled up.
Masa, the Power Gauntlet, Power Staff ribbon. So we have a big sword in the incentive pool. But we have Sea Shrine and Sky Palace Vanilla, as well as Marsh Cave, Ordeals, and Ice Cave.
On top of that, you mentioned Canaria Locked, and Cardia is incentivized. But the nice part about Cardia being incentivized is Bahamut's Hoard of Treasures is on.
The one-stop shop for the items in the islands.
Indeed.
And this is a very long haul. We've got Volcano into a free ribbon plus 5 out of the Sea Hall. That's pretty nicely. And Sky 1 for good measure. Early to see metal slimes, but the nukes could be huge if they landed.
Yeah, these nukes have got to take some of the stuff out.
Guard bots taking a couple of Shumbabi's runners down. Do we have save on death enabled by chance?
We do have save on game over enabled, so if you get bounced out of a dungeon and you have happened to get some experience, then you are in luck. Alright.
Gonna take it.
A free eye? I like free eyes. It's free EXP.
Interesting. Shumbabi actually just continuing up. He finds that at the top of this dungeon, at the bottom of it, technically, is, that was Northwest Castle, and meanwhile, Jay Shadell on the right side of that floor finds the Power Gauntlet.
Yep, that Power Gauntlet is very nice to see.
You've got an improved hit chance fighter, as well as a reasonably capable thief come promotion, so power up.
Alright, gets some unfortunate turn order on some bad men, but is able to make it out. And now Jay Shadell is just continuing on through. Party's looking pretty good right now, as the rest of Sky 1 falls to him. A large dagger plus 5. There is a shard and some more money, as Shum, unfortunately, is not looking like he's going to run from the Catman, but that thief pulls out the run. And Jay has made it to the bottom, does have some charges available on that fighter, and has the information in tow, as well as the dungeon cleared.
Yep, once that crown that was hinted before is found, Jay Shadell will be able to come back up. I assume he's just taking a break to make his notes and then head on out. Meanwhile, Shum, having fallen with the 2-man before, is back on 4, going to do some looting, having, again, also fast-tracked his way up to find out what was deeper into this dive, rather than checking all the chests on the way. And hey, I missed that before, a defense sword plus 5 out of the greater than less than chests.
Definitely very nice to see, and one thing I will definitely stress for the Ducks is when you're doing entrance and floor shuffle, you want to take notes as to where everything is, or what the bottommost floor of the entrance is, as that will save you a lot of time if you happen to need to backtrack anywhere.
I do not remember Shumbabi going in and finding that power gauntlet, which could be bad. And there we go. It looks like Northwest Castle is the east entrance to Titans.
All right, Jay Scheidel is on the sea. He does not know about the nuke red Sahags, which, oh no. You know what floors are going to be really bad, Thavian?
Everything in C?
Everything in C. Because that can be a potential of 8 nukes going out.
And Barsh Shumbabi finding is Sarda. So this will be another pickup as Jeshael gets the canoe and the ox tape from the King of the Prince. And there's the chime. So that is access to Mirage Tower.
Ring your bells. We got the chime.
We do not have the shuffled chime lock on. This is a more duckling friendly seed, and that's one of the newer items that was added to the randomizer recently. But I do love it when we have it.
Shum making very good use of the river dock, makes it over here to Elfland very handily. The party's looking pretty good on levels, where Jay also looking pretty good on levels. Is going to have a bit of a longer trek to make, but we know that the Arsahags have nuke. Shum knows that the Arsahags have nuke. Jay does not know that the Arsahags have nuke, but he knows now! I regret nothing!
Well, we had a look at Elfland with Black Magic level 3. I saw Brack there, which is kind of nice to have. Stun, Quake, Sleep 2, and then we've got Arub, Cure, Ailit, and Heal 2 at level 3 white. Nothing amazing for level 2 white, but we do have access to 4 here, so let's see what that is. And white 4, Amute, Lamp, Harm 4. That is huge to see for that white mage that Shum has.
Harm 4 is very big, but we see Ice 2, Warp Fast and Slow here on level 4 Black Magic. Warp and Fast being super useful in entrance and floor shuffle as it allows you fast travel throughout the dungeons that you're diving.
And I do believe the hint was TNT was somewhere involving Mirage, so that could be something needed when, or if they find dwarves, of course.
Yeah, so with Mirage Tower having 12 floors, that means it's a deep, deep dungeon.
And Matoya's Cave, we just gotta see, that looked like Titan's West.
Yeah, it was the other side of Titans. Going into Provoca, we're going to be able to take a look at level 2 white and black magics, but first things first, gotta take out Bicky and his pirates as Shum is looting out Earth 4, finds an iron hammer, some more money, and another shard.
3 whole shards found so far. It's kind of impressive, actually. Shum using the warp back trick to get to the previous entrance. It is a shorter run if you can avoid having to.
Believe it or not, it actually equals out on steps if you do your stepping optimally. So it's not as much of a time save as some people would think.
2 whole shards and a weir sword of note, and lit 2 out of those Gurims. Yeah, Shumbabi's not happy to see that. Gets away though. It's better than nuke from the Arsags.
You know what's better than a weir sword though?
An equipped ribbon.
A their sword.
Okay, we had life 2 there at level 2 white along with wall. And there we go, Zap, Quadex, and Temper at level 2. Level 2 magic is stacked for other side, and the Q block is at the bottom of that dive for Shumbabi.
Oof.
So, Elfland Castle turns into the Q block. Got the chime, not the cube, unfortunately.
Sorry, Sunflash, but nope. You stuck with me.
One thing to note for our runners, we don't have access to the outer sea because we do not have the canal with that free boat or the free ship that came with it. But hey, they got the canoe early, so
It does
Crescent, here
allow
we come.
it does allow for a few more entrances to be checked as Shum is running into Crescent. Gonna check the item shop first, and there is no shop item here. But there will be the item on the Sages. Heal 3, Pure, Harm, and Harm 3 here at level 6 White Magic. Level 6 Black Magic has Lock 2, Bane, Lit, and Sleep.
Pretty good selection. Nothing super crazy. Lock 2 could come in handy. Another thing I wanted to note, Jay Shidell actually picked up some silver rings or bracelets, and there's the canal out of the Sages. But Jay Shidell equipped a lot of good gear from Canaria, some silver shields, some silver bracelets, whereas right now Shumbabi has the pro ring and the ribbon, and that's it.
Yeah, Shum. I know Shum operates on minimal gear, but if he finds the good gear, he will keep a hold of it until he can equip it.
Shumbabi not wanting to bother going, Scorch on the Hydras. River systems are not safe. It's not nuke by any means, but it's still really, really annoying. But yeah, Shumbabi is heading back into the inner sea, not going to try and take the river system to Ice Cave or Volcano and see what those are. Because, well, having the ship and having the canal, it's a lot faster to go elsewhere.
The only thing that has to be worried about are the nuke Arsahags.
Well, he's got 4 tents, so save's coming. Let's see if he can pull it off. Also, hasn't been to Provoke yet, so this is a good move.
Yeah, it's time for a Provoke trip. And we saw some very, very good magic in Provoca thanks to Jay, but Shum does not quite know about said magic here yet. Not going to take long before he finds it.
True, and based on the magic he already has, he's not really in need of it immediately, but hey, when you find Sap and Muveside Temper and Quad X, oh, and Life 2, because we do have Life in Battle enabled with Life 1 and Life 2, could come in handy real fast.
Very much so.
Jay Shidell on a seafloor, thankfully not finding a Sahag with Sahag pack.
And Jay Shadell has made it to that earthen floor.
Gonna find a few 3 shards. Gonna go ahead and find the cube lock at the end of that dive. As Life 2 is being picked up by Shumbabi. And Wall for good measure. Extra protection, and ooh! Arachnids with crack! Is this a Danny seed in disguise?
It's Cracknids.
Well, Nuke does the job, and Jay Shidell gets a good chunk of experience. I do believe, yep, we have dead party members can gain experience, so no danning your party to focus your experience across multiple party members.
Indeed, and if you all want to know who to blame for the seed, then give a round of applause to our restreamer Oslotto for generating this glorious monstrosity right now. This is just absolutely beautiful. Unfortunate for the runners, great for us.
Fortunate for Shumbabi to run away from that Arsahag.
Especially if a preemptive was had. Hey, look, Melman's Melman. Oh, wait.
Well, we've seen both sides of Titans, so what's Titans actually going to be? It's Sharknado floor.
A very terrifying floor.
Good chess. Unfortunately, some potentially very dangerous encounters on the floor. Hey, Shard in the house. That's not bad to see. And the Wizards, they're far from the scariest thing seen so far.
Very much so. 2 shards, though, in the actual Sharknado room proper. So very nice to see those, as Shum is only checking the boxes on the way and just continuing on through. Jay, unfortunately, finding that cube block, as Shum does find Carrie's floor.
And ice dragons on it for some reason. I guess they're extra chill, so they don't have to worry about the heat.
I mean, don't you know about permafrost dragons? Oh, hey, and a blue D to follow it up.
These are the wrong Ds for the environment, but they're fun for us to see at least. And
Exactly.
Shum immediately warping out to avoid both of those trap tiles.
Alright, so if I were to take a wild guess here, I'm going to say Shum's going to attempt carry with what he has available. It's very, very doable at this point, and, you know, shouldn't be too terribly bad, just going to be a little scary. But wait, fiends are shuffled!
Well, this is a close to standard location. I mean, it's relatively close to where the Earth Cave should be.
Hey, look, a blast comes out for 296 and bye, Lich!
What is this, Final Fantasy VII run? Are we just relying on explosive items to actually make any progress?
Yeah, we're throwing grenades. Always throwing grenades.
Shum finished up with the Lich fight, gets the Fiend of Fire that is the Fiend of Earth in its place, and gonna go ahead and finish running through Sharknado, hopefully find some more shards.
Unfortunately, no shards in that first room. We did see a soft and a cap +1. Super useful. That flame shield +4, though, no sarcasm. That is super useful.
Kazokus have heat, so the seas are even less annoying, or even more annoying and even less safe than they could be. But Jay Shadow has like 20, 30 something tents and is going to happily save scum his way around the map.
Jay, unfortunately, realizing I've missed a place.
Potentially several.
Is probably going to be heading over to Crescent Lake, going to check the Circle of Sages and be like, ah, yes, that's the place I missed.
Meanwhile, Shimbabi finds that top of a marsh cave is at Earth Cave's entrance, which is a few quick-ish checks, and Shimbabi decides to reset out and didn't save outside of it, so he has to run back if he wants to go get those last two chests.
Yeah, he's not going to grab them.
And he says no. We don't have any loose incentive items, so it's a few chests, it's a run to get to, and just for a potential few shards, not going to bother.
I mean, especially when you can get shards from killing fiends, amongst other things.
And we have Shimbabi going towards, it looks like, ordeals.
Indeed. This is always a good place to check in entrance and floor shuffle, as it's one of the easier places to forget, alongside Sardis Cave as well as Titan's West, as if you don't have any connector Titans that leads there, you have to have the airship in order to check them.
Indeedly do. And we have Volcano 1. What will lead to more sea floor, if you will. That is TFC floor.
And the nuke Arsahag strike again!
In volume. Shum happy that is a very short run to get back to. No key in hand, no lock picking, so we are not going to see what's TFC or what is in TFC at this time, and likely ever.
But that is a Great Axe +5, and it's a dead end.
That is a womp for Shimbabi, as Jay Shadow doing what Shimbabi didn't, going up to Ice Cave. Gonna deal with the river system, not gonna try and wait until he gets access to the floater to fly back here.
I kind of like this play, because there actually is a chance of a floater being here. So we'll just have to wait and see, as it opens up with Earth 2.
Some reasonably quick checks tests to check.
Not a bad floor, but definitely have to be worried about those crack arachnids.
And Shum is doing the same. He is going to that top river dock, gonna go in and join Jay Scheidel.
Indeed.
Now, if this turns out to be something like the cube to get access to something they've already found, or floater if it would be amazing, French vanilla-ish floater coming out of Ice Cave, whichever it might be, but so many options.
I do believe we have a legendary shop sighting here.
Ooh, that's an unusual flag to see enabled, but it's always fun to see it. Well, what is in store, literally in the store for our runners if they go?
That's a good question. I mean, it all depends upon whether or not they actually want to visit it.
And there's Matoya's, and they have the crystal. The Matoya is giving them a bottle. It kind of makes sense that a witch would have a fairy in a bottle. I mean, that's the kind of thing a witch would stockpile for magical purposes, whatever they may be. And Shum and Jay Shadow both exiting out and done with the ice cave.
That they
Matoya's
are.
ice cave.
I see Matoya's cave. Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
Where the actual ice cave loop will be, we do not know. That is one thing that is not shuffled. The ice cave loop floors are actually in one group. So if you find the incentive floor for ice cave, that is all of the ice cave loop in one location.
Which is super duper nice to see, because that means you can get through it relatively quickly.
Plus, the exit on the exit that takes you out of Ice Cave will take you out of the entire deep dive. So it's a fast exit of a deep dive if we find it at the bottom of like a 12-floor dungeon.
All right. Going into Volcano, it opens up with Bahamut into Volcano. So we're definitely seeing some normal stuff here. And it leads into the marsh split. Oh no.
Well, there's one other split we have yet to see, and that is the C split. But what will Marsh Top be? We've got both runners heading that way.
Don't even mention the C split, because if you know this game as well as most of us do, you know it's going to show up as soon as you mention it.
That is Volcano Armory, and it looks like one of the Cardia Isles in
Cardia Grassland.
The least chest dense of the isles of that.
I mean,
there's another one with 3 chests in it, but it is much smaller.
And that would be the Cardia Marshland one. There's a Cat Claw -2 for Shum. With that thief having improved Cat Claw, that is still a suitable weapon for him.
If he thinks to even bother, but also found some ice armor plus to go with that fire shield. That's pretty good gear for that fighter.
Alright, gonna go ahead and take on the seafood party pack here. Throwing out a blast, and it's not doing too terribly much here. But that nuke should clean up this encounter, and that's going to be a decent amount of EXP going on to Shum's party members, bringing up the party to level 11. 2 gold, a shard, and a heal pot, all behind that spike tile.
Getting some good shard counts out of this dive. The bad hairpin from Jay Shadow also had a shard, and another defense sword +5. That is 2 defense swords +5s that we have seen.
Well, that's 2 sources of ruse, so super nice to see.
Looks like Shum is ignoring the right side of Volcano Armory and is just going to back down to Marsh and take the Marsh bottom split. See what's there.
Shum is playing chest density by far, which is technically a faster play to make, but you know, sometimes you can get bit by it. It's not very often that it happens.
The risk it for the biscuit measures are there, but this is not one of our inexperienced runners. This is a very aware runner. Hey, another volcano floor in Volcano. Weird.
What? No. No.
There is a good number of chests on Agma floor, but Shum is literally just going speed and power-esque on it. Gonna check what's in the Agma bottom chest, not gonna actually encounter the Agma tile, and into another chest dense space, we have mermaids. No encounters here, so no whiz hacks.
Not just chest dense, but also money dense tonight. That was over 50,000 gold there in the first 2 chests.
That could come in handy depending on what we see, where we see it, and if they ever go back to that legendary weapon shop or item shop. But there's the crown out of mermaids. We do know where Northwest Castle is, so that is a check that Shum will happily be able to take. Gonna warp and have saved the walk back from that incentive chest room. That wraparound of the entire floor is a bit of an annoying run.
Indeed, and are we going to get carbonation? Yes, we are. Bubbles Soda Company thanks you for your contribution, Shum.
Every bubble's carbonated and improves the carbonation of all soda in all of the world. So I don't know. I'm not a part of your team, so I can just make somewhat similar statements. I think frost dragons. I forgot. We already saw these from the volcano floor with Carrie should have been, but had Lich. So. And Jay Shadel is going to go and raid the entirety of Agama floor on the way down. Gonna find a lot of shards, so if Shum does end up running back here and getting those, we'll be happy to find them.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it looks like Shum is going back up. Wanted to dive the entire way and then fetch things on the run back. Solid strategy.
Indeed, it's one that can definitely pay off, and definitely in one of the more chest-dense areas here of the Agama floor, where Jay is just going through looting it all. Has definitely picked up some good stuff.
Indeed, and gets one set of one shard out of that top right box that that Shum Bobby definitely did not go for. Speaking of Shum, he is out of Volcano and on his way, gonna go back to Northwest Castle, which, if I remember correctly from my notes, was in Temple of Fiends.
It indeed was. So we're gonna see a long trek back, as well as potential nukes along the way that I really don't want to speak into existence, but I may just have.
Well, the question here is, does he take the northern dock and run? Does he take Matoya dock and run? Or does he go all the way back into the inner sea? It looks like he's going to take the northern dock or the Matoya dock.
I mean, at this point, the Matoya dock would probably be the better one.
Indeedly do, because why would you park near Melman, or
Provoca
and then run, when you can just park at the river and run? And not find the Gurimps with the unlit tube, so happy there.
29-minute, 25-second bridge boss here for Shum Bobby. And
I think that is not the mermaid we need you to talk to. Legend? Legend's always nice to see gone, but still not the right one.
And
you tease.
Oh! Nope. Nope. You're not allowed to make your plug now, Jay. You're not allowed to make the plug. You just lost your privileges on that. But does pick up a full cure and has no exit charges.
Oh, warp comes in handy there, has a few charges of it, but it's not exit. He has to waste more time and more spells because he didn't carbonate bubbles.
Yup. As Shum is heading towards the Northwest Castle, we'll take on the kindly old king as he yields insert item here. I'm hoping it's the key.
Now my question is, when Jay Shadel heads back that way, will Jay Shadel remember did not check the right side and get that power bonk that's there?
Oh no! This is even better. So, the kindly old king here has a nice D6. Which means we're going back to Q block to then be able to progress.
Way to go, Rando, with the back and forth that Oslaughter was so known for during our tournament earlier this year of, oh, you have to go to sea to get into Sky, or Mirage to get into or you have to go to Mirage to get into Sea to get into Sky. That's basically what we've got here.
This is so nice. It's evil, but so nice at the same time. If you've run a lot of entrance floor seeds, then this is a very common occurrence for you, as you've been in this situation more times than once.
J-Shell taking some Mummy Whiz Mummy to get some more experience. Nuke doing a good job of clearing that up. Level 14 across the party.
And Shoom is somewhere at sea.
Looks like around Ordeals.
Yep, heading over to Bahamut, now heading back north, working on getting back to where that Q block was.
Gonna save up at Elfland. Does J-Shadow? No, J-Shadow is not going that way. J-Shadow will not get the power bonk at this rate.
I'm pretty sure Jay has the power bonk.
Did I miss? Oh well.
Because Jay was the one that got it.
Cube.
I believe Jay got it earlier. Attempting to zap Astos did not work out. Nuke's gonna follow up for 129. A swing 3 hits for 99 damage. Goodbye, Astos. We'll see you later.
Was that turnabout a fair play move by J-Shadow?
I do believe so.
Well, crown collected for Jay as Shoom is making his way back through the Earth floor, Earth Armory on his way to the Q block. Did have a good amount of armor to shove on his party, though. Finally going into equip what he's got.
Indeed, and now it is time for the dreaded Q block. What is going to be here on the tile? A Grey Worm. Oh man, that's so scary.
Sadly, it's not a sandwich.
Into Mirage 1! Okay.
Well, we've already seen greater than less then, so if it's going to be a Mirage 4, it had to be that one. And into a Cardia Isle, but it is the incentive Cardia Isle chest.
With a shard already. Alright, what is the item going to be? There's 4353 EXP, a Pro Ring +1, 975 gold, and the Mystic Key! Oh no.
Well, time to go to Dwarfs, where we have the Keylock Cardia incentive chest, or Canaria incentive chest, and that's our only option, I believe, otherwise.
Exactly. Iron Stick, 42 gold, another 8 gold, and there's 786 gold. Literal chump change. 5700 EXP, and one whole shard.
Well, that plus the shard in the Area Isles, or Cardia Isles, that, 2 shards and a key. So, definitely worth the trip. But now that key, I'm fairly certain, has to be the floater.
I'm pretty sure that's the only thing it can be, because I don't think Dwarfs has been located on top of that. There is a chance that they could dig out where Bahamut's landed, but it's not something I would recommend doing personally. And if they remember that there is a legendary weapon shop, they can actually have themselves set up and good to go with Mosmunes, if they are for sale there. Ribbon +5, and yep, that is the floater. There is that second ribbon that Shoom is going to end up grabbing. Gonna toss out some unnecessary stuff.
It's nice to see the second loose ribbon right next to incentive chest. So we do have the one ribbon in the incentive pool they have not found. They will get there eventually.
And there is the key for Jay. And Jay is gonna go ahead and drop one of those pieces of equipment. It looked like the Aegis shield, in order to get that other pro ring.
understandable move, given you already have the fire shield. The Aegis shield is great and all, but it's not strictly necessary. Especially since we haven't found Bahamut yet, so promotion is not a guarantee. And at 36:30 or thereabouts, Shumbabi, our first runner on stream in the air.
Actually, 36:30 was accurate, as he used that floater right at the 36:30 mark. So good call on that one, Thavian.
Guesstimation on the fly. It's better than doing math on stream, that's for sure. Hey, do you want to know where the cube is? Oh wait, you already got it. Hint giver not needed. What does our fairy have? Our fairy has the incentive ribbon. There's all 3 ribbons found.
And Jay has a decision to make, tosses, I don't know what, for the second ribbon, and is going to go ahead and equip it onto the fighter. Not that I can blame him, and still has not refreshed spell charges, so is having to warp out.
Didn't carbonate bubbles. Free charge, free single charge, your most needed spell. Shumbabi, meanwhile, having popped the bottle, gotten the ribbon, is going into Mirage, which is Ordeals.
More like more deals.
Well, how many warp charges you got? Because how many pillars you got? Ooh, quick 4-pillar room. Could this be a shortcut? It is possible to get an early 4-pillar room that skips multiple split pillar rooms, but it doesn't look like that is the case.
Yeah, because that's going to be a lower pillar into a lower pillar, and that's going to be the end of the maze for Shum.
Okay, it skipped 1 split by going into that first pillar, so not a bad one. There's a good number of chests here.
Jay has not been to see what is at Mirage, or not Mirage Tower, Castle of Ordeals, while Shum getting another shard here from Castle of Ordeals is sitting pretty good, gets the TNT for the troubles.
Still need to find dwarfs to actually turn that in, but that's still an incentive item found, which just makes it easier to gain levels.
To be fair, the location of dwarves is whittling down, as we do see the one, the only, the bluest of stakes on Shum's screen.
But how thick of a cut is this blue steak, and is it tender and juicy?
I mean, it's taken more than 1 turn, so it's thick enough to handle 2 turns.
That evasion on the thief coming in handy, because we know that bite can be pretty chompy. And there it goes, level 16 across the party for Shumbabi, the blue steak taken happily.
Yep.
Jay meanwhile, with the key, is actually going to full loot the sea floor with TFC, which we did not see from Shum.
2 turns of thickness, so definitely enjoy that.
That is Sky Maze. We have a roaming Warmech, so Cardia Tiny could pay off a huge chunk of experience if one of our runners wants to come back here. And yeah, that was Warmech just there we saw.
Welcome all from Free Enterprise to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Duck Boot Camp 2024 weekly race. These are our 204 flags, right, Thavian?
Yes, indeed. We've got a shard hunt with a floor and entrance randomizer, and there we go, Dwarves' Cardia Forest.
Definitely nice to see the Dwarf Cave with TNT in tow, so let us see what Shum is about to get from this TNT. A power bonk. Not
Nice
bad
to
to
see.
find.
Another thing to have is the key, which means you got access to all the chests here, because of course we are looking for more shards. Also, that Cardia Tiny with the Sky Maze there. Yeah, it's a Sky Maze with the Warmech, but it ended with a empty Cardia Isle, so
Which is unfortunate to see.
one dead end off the list either way, and still 4 more checks in Cardia. We've got the Bahamut's Cave and the other cave there. We've got the marsh we're about to check, and then we've got plains. Here is one of the ice caves. Ooh, Kazoko's actually have toxic. We didn't see that before. They usually add heat.
That is unfortunate to see, as Shum has stumbled into Lich's floor, as you noticed earlier, or if you're just joining us. The fiends are shuffled, so Lich is not going to be here. We saw Lich on Shoom screen earlier in Volcano at Carrie's spot. So the question is, what's Lich going to be? Lich is going to be a Kraken. Yikes.
That is a substantial upgrade from speed bump to wow. Meanwhile, Jay Shadell found his way into the C split. Ooh, Shumbamba going for some Brack strats. Gotta appreciate that, but loses the White Mage in the process.
Yep, White Mage goes down, gonna attempt to Brack again. Defense Sword goes out, giving 2 more evasion stacks. Broken into pieces is Kraken.
Bracken, the Kraken, and the Cardia Isles, and the Earth Cave, and it's the randomizer. It does those things, and Shubabi does things for us to entertain us.
That's an instant rod block over on Shoom's side at Bahamut's Cave, and finds the Marsh incentive location as Jay Shidell finds Bahamut.
That is upgrade. That'll allow him to pick up and equip that defense sword +5 he's got in his inventory rather than just use it as a ruse item. Gonna check all the chests in the Cardia Isles with the Bahamut's Horde. Does not need to check that middle chest because that is the incentive he has already picked up. Either way, I'm sure Shoom is just hoping this is the rod, but nope, that's the herb. When he finds the actual elf castle, he now can get the prince's item.
Gonna go ahead and loot that quick box right there, and it's out of the Marsh Cave for Shoom, heading over to the Cardia Grassland, which is, hey, look at that, it's Elf Castle.
If this turns out to be the rod, it will just be the greatest proximity bounce in the world.
No, it's the loot.
Oh, but the princess is supposed to have that instrument, but then again, the princess had a canoe for us, if I remember correctly, so no. It was the canoe and the oxale from the princess and the king. I can't remember which is which, but either way, Shoom's gonna get these 4 chests.
The king had the oxale, Sarah had the canoe. Sarah hollowed out the loot and made it into the canoe. Jay Shadell finding Earth 1, which is not a very chest-dense floor, but definitely one that can be rewarding.
Got some warp charges, you can check a few chests. Meanwhile, Shoom on to the Onrak continent. Gonna check what's in Onrak, has the Oxyale, so he can check what is behind the Oxyale lock.
Gonna get the White Mage back up. And Jay Shadell picks up a house from one of the 2 packs in Earth. Shoom heading over to the submarine and finds Ice Cave.
Yet another incentive item and a good chunk of chests to check. Gonna go into that top drop down, use warp to get back up, and be able to check. It is the adamant, so that's another dwarf cave check that he can do rather quickly once he leaves here. Not gonna bother checking the other chests. Gonna go check what's at the top of the waterfall, and then most likely just leave.
I mean, the only entrances that have not been checked at this point are Sarda's as well as Titan's West. So those are the only 2 that will remain to be checked. Which, you know, one of them could have a fiend. They could both have fiends.
Well, that's a Cardia Isle, and I would honestly, if I were check these chests. The Sky 3 is a very, it's spread out, but has quite a good number of chests in it. 2 4-packs and a 6-pack.
For a grand total of 14 chests.
Math on stream, you crazy man. Ooh, Jay Shadell, meanwhile, has found his way into C. We have seen Lich. We have seen Kraken. Will we see Tia? Or could it be Carrie?
Let it be Carrie. Let us have backwards fiends.
You got Tiamat. Carrie is in the skies.
I mean, that's honestly not too bad, so...
Carrie in the sky with Warmac.
I was thinking it. One of us was bound to do it. All right, defense sword usage as well as fast and temper. And just going to keep tempering up that night. First swing, 8 hits, 230 with a crit. Swing with the cat claw, 3 hits for 49. Fast is going to come out, increasing that damage. Temper going out onto the knight for some more damage. Quad X is getting ready to be used. 6 hits, 91 damage coming out from the ninja. 313 from the knight. Nuke for 202. And Quad X comes out. Erase terminated.
Looks like the C-split is Sarda's and Shumbabi finding Sky 2 in Titan's West. So a lot of chests, and yep, Jay Scheidel in Waterfall is what is Titan's West actually. But there is an incentive check here that Shumbabi ran right past. It is a Masa +5.
That's a big stick.
The biggest, stickest.
And that's immediately going on to the knight. That's going to be a lot of extra power that knight has to offer.
Yeah, for those who did not see or weren't here earlier, that knight comes free with Telemagic and a +10% hit chance. So big stick with high damage and good crit and a higher chance to hit in the first place.
Much higher chance with that +5 modifier on it. Checking these two chests, get some EXP and some money. Where Shum is checking these waterfall chests, does pull out at least one shard. Talks to the robot to get the earth rod. And more EXP is currently 4 shards off. Running back to check the incentive chest, is about to pull out that Mosmune. And goes, ooh, I want. And there is that Mazda +5 for Shum as well.
Now here's the thing. They don't need to fight all the fiends to get all the shards they need to go. Shum might not even fight Tia if he can get enough shards on his way. If he goes right first, we shall see what Shum does from here.
Yep, as Shum has entered the C-split. It is the question of where is Shum going to go from here as Jay Scheidel enters that waterfall and immediately gets some mummies. Wraith's coming out with some blizzard, doing some damage to Shum's party while he's on Ice 1.
Thankfully, the inability to stop experience from going on all your party members, even if they're dead, has a nice little side effect of, even if you have some dead party members, they do get sick. But there we go, right side is only 2 runs deep to get to promotion, so Shum will be able to wield all the possible gear.
And that's some good stuff.
Jay Scheidel finding a Ghastly, gonna nuke it down, good chunk of experience. Not as good as the 4-pack you can find in Topher, but hey, that's just an amazing pack.
Indeed.
Did Shum just exit out without finishing the dive into Waterfall? Or why am my brain? Oh, never mind.
No, Shum was over on the right side.
Jay Scheidel was in Waterfall, and I completely lost track. So.
Yep. There is the rod for Jay. And now Shum is going on down to Kraken's lair, which,
Only
as we
needs
saw
4
earlier,
shards.
and this spot gives 4 shards, as we saw earlier. This does hold Tia. And I am not.
Is proximity checking what he did not check in Sea or Sharknado, hoping to find those 4 shards quick.
Indeed, it's a race against the clock at this point. It's the question of who's going to end up getting this.
Shumbabi pulling up on Tia. Tia hitting 5 hits for 180. Armor 4 comes out, does about 140 to it. Fast comes out before the swing, 8 hits for 495. There goes the defense sword, 4 hits for 4 damage and nothing doing. Harm 4 coming out, Nuke coming out, 135. Swing with that Masa. There you go, 8 hits, 318. Not a lot of damage, but a good amount of damage done to kill. 19 across the board. Shards gained, and I do believe that is Shum and Go mode. We know where Toph is. It happens to be Canaria Castle, so quick flight.
Quick flight and easy save to easy redives. And if I am not mistaken, this is going to be a short Topher. So buckle up. It's going to be fast.
Straight into the Fiend fights. And there's the carry we did not see, but this is not carry. This is carry 2.
Yep. And Mazda swing goes out. 4 hits for 206. Defense swing. 4 hits for 155 with a crit. Bane comes out. And nobody dies. Fast goes out as the last action, which is unfortunate to see. But gonna follow up with swing, swing. Harm 4 nuke. Swing for 11 damage from the defense sword. Harm 4 for 121 is going to take out carry 2. Second Fiend fight is Tia 2. Gonna open up with Harm 4 and Fast going out onto the night. Tia, though, chomping down that ninja to 34 health. 211 damage. Just... oh.
Noticing that there's only 2 fiends that we have to fight on either side, so taking left or taking the right sees different fiends, but there you go. Lock 2 coming out to remove that. I'll let you do it. My time is tied.
Lower the evasion. Power Bonk comes out in order to increase the knight's accuracy. Life 2 in battle going to be used in order to fully revive that ninja. Temper's going to go out onto the fighter. Fighter takes 4 hits for 367. There was a crit. 7 hits for 673 coming out from the knight. This Tia is not long for this world. 3 hits, 3 damage coming out from the ninja. 4 hits for 266. Kills the knight. Quad X erased. Terminated on Tia 2 for Shum. Life 2 on the knight, and he is on to Chaos. And here we go. It is time for the Ultimate Fiend. Defense Sword, Power Bonk, Invis 2, and Fast. Gonna have 3 stacks of evasion on the ninja and 1 stack on everybody else. The knight already has some increased damage output. Fast does go out. More Defense Sword, more Power Bonk, another Invis 2, and another Temper. Even more damage output potential. Here we go. Chaos is missing that ninja. Invis 2 comes out. That ninja is evasion capped as it stands now. Gonna wait, swing, wait, and Lock 2. 7 hits for 831 damage coming out from the knight. Lock 2 is gonna lower Chaos's evasion, and now it is just wait, fight, wait, wait. But instead of wait, fight, wait, wait, it was wait, fight, wait, fight. 5 hits for 474. And this next hit should kill Chaos. 116 damage going out on the White Wizard. 6 hits for 916 is a terminated Chaos for Shum Bobby, finishing with an official racetime.gg time of 54 minutes and 49 seconds in first place overall.
Meanwhile, Jay Scheidel, realizing he had not checked Cardia Isles, finds the Elflin Castle, but has not found the herb. Has actually checked Bahamut's Cave, found the Rodlock, and is diving the Rodlock, which at this point I'm fairly certain will take us to Carry. And there it is. That's the Bridge of Destiny. That will take us to Carry 1. He is going to exit out because he knows he does not need to take that fight.
Alright, so it is just a hunt for the herb on Jay Shadell's side in order to get that loot.
And that will be here in Marsh, if I remember correctly, and our notes say as such.
You do remember correctly. And we are joined in the booth by our first place finisher overall, Shum Bobby. GG's, my friend.
Thank you, thank you.
So yeah, right. I was going to say, I liked your strategy going down to the bottom of each floor or each entrance and then coming back up and reverse looting.
Yeah, you got that fighter with telemagic really early. Information is key on a floor entrance shuffle, so I'd rather know things than guess at things. And yeah, seems to have paid off in this particular seed. Being able to find certain places early that I knew I was going to have to go back to, but then also knowing where I was going to have to go back to was really helpful.
Artahags. Thoughts?
I mean, interesting. Immediately when that happened, I go, oh, well, at least they're early. And then I thought to myself, and also in Sea Shrine. But, like, it's fine, right? And it honestly, the imps, the Grimps with the lit too is a little bit worse because they're a little bit more prevalent. But all in all, right? Like, I know it's fun to meme on the community for these seeds in which you have low-level enemies casting nuke at you, but I'd rather see it on a low-level enemy than something I'm going to encounter a whole lot.
And with it also not being on the Medusa script as well.
Yeah.
Because if it rolls on the Medusa script alongside an enemy that you see fairly often, yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't need that, thank you.
Admittedly, sad to see that no one went back to the Sky Maze to take out Warmac, but it looks like with the scaling we had, level 20, level 21-ish does the job.
It was definitely an option on my mind. I did make a mental note to just walk up if I needed it, but at that time it didn't make sense to take it. I was still on an information hunt, and once the dominoes start falling, it's really hard to convince yourself to over-level on a short Topher.
Very much true.
No kidding there, but we do have Jay Scheidel pulling Chaos, opening up with fast defense sword on the knight and a temper. All of that went out on the knight. Swing from the defense sword wielding ninja, 4 hits for 60 damage, fast going out onto the ninja, and another temper onto the knight. Fast does land on the ninja before the attack, 9 hits for 189. Another temper on the knight before it swings, 7 hits for 842 damage. Lots of damage going out there. 7 hits, 737, and that's terminated Chaos for Jay Scheidel, finishing in 3rd place overall, second on Restream, with an official racetime.gg time of 58 minutes and 59 seconds. Get your GGs out for Jay Scheidel,
who now joins us in the booth. GGJ, and why? Why the carbonation be no?
Because I know Osvaldo is muted.
You're not allowed to make the plug. It's already been agreed upon.
Sorry, what now we're talking about?
Osvaldo knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, let's talk about the race other than the thing you didn't do in the race. And how was it finding that final fiend and just going, I don't need this?
Okay, yeah. So I actually forgot that I had loot for a little bit, or didn't have loot. So I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm just gonna go. And then, oh, I still need this stupid loot. And I should have started diving faster, because I know when I had 6 shards left, I'm like, I've got plenty of fiends out here, stop checking chests. But I didn't.
It's hard to get away from the loot goblin habits, especially in a hunt of any variety.
The next question, as I rub my hands together for this one, how about them Arsahags?
3rd encounter, take 2, tint, reset.
Yeah, until you were in C.
Yeah, and in C it was run, nuke, nuke.
And then hope turn order went in your favor.
I only saw him once in C, and it did.
And the one that Oslodo wants to point out, the Arachnids.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Those are worse than the Arsahags. At least for me. I thankfully had a ribbon on that red mage, and then life 2.
I don't think you saw the crack arachnid, Shum. I don't remember for sure, but yeah.
I don't remember encountering any spider types this entire seed.
Yeah, the
Yeah, Earth
arachnids, if you
4
were
was hard.
unfortunate. There you go. If you were unfortunate enough, you ran into crack arachnids.
Yep. Earth 4 coming out of those top boxes. It was so bad.
I was a lot of pointing out that, yes, of course, everyone seems to hit the Gurims with the Lit 2.
Yee. Bad early, nothing annoying later.
I did find it interesting that you went to Provoke after going to Crescent.
I went to
That
Provoke
was
way
Shun.
early.
That was Shun
Yes.
that went to provoke.
I got that
that was
backwards.
Yeah, no, that was because towns aren't in the shuffle, and so getting an early canoe was kind of like, how am I going to do something that nobody else is doing? I better go to Crescent. And then once I found the canal, I was like, okay, now I definitely need to start doing things that people aren't doing.
And see, I
I
didn't
was-
read that towns were in the shuffle.
Mhm.
Whoops.
I was gonna go to Provoca, and then I bumped into the RSA hags. I was like, nah, never mind, I'm going down.
I went, hey, Corneria's Corneria. That's normal. All right. Okay, Provoca's Provoca. Okay, Rando's gonna Rando. Elfland's Elf. Wait, what?
Yeah, they have to have some kindnesses towards the ducks. I honestly find it a little bit more confusing when the towns aren't
Yeah.
shuffled in, but that's just because I play a lot of floor entrance shuffle, so I'm used to quirks about it. But
I was
this
expecting it.
this was a fairly interesting layout. The fetch questing and it wasn't even fetch quest, it was just back and forths that you had to do because gates were in all the ways. It was really fun.
So much of the inner sea, I felt like I was done. I'm like, okay, I don't have to come back here. I've got all the stuff done. I've got all the key locks done now. It's like, okay, let's go south.
It really did turn out to be an Oslato seed with the amount of back and forth you did. It was close to vanilla, but it wasn't.
It felt really bad to be like 35 minutes to get into the sky, but so I wasn't sure if like, did my attempt at differentiating the play just mean that I was taking 8 times more encounters than everyone else, or was it just this is how the cookie crumbles for everyone? And fortunately, there's cookie crumbs everywhere.
I was curious how people finding the canal, if they would leave or go on up to volcano or ice. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go up to ice and see what happens.
So there was a hint giver early on that told us volcano had a split, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So I was just gonna, I did everything in my power to avoid canoeing into the inner sea, and then it got forced on me when Ordeals didn't have anything.
Yeah. And I had volcano just as a ton of shards, so I didn't take a ton of notes, but lots of shards, what I wrote down.
So, the question I have for you guys is, how about that herb next to Elf Castle to then get the loot?
Wish I had it earlier.
From my perspective, it was natural progression across the island hopping, so I didn't mind it so much. But
Yep.
so the only reason that works out for me is because, again, and for any of the ducks listening, talk to the hint givers, because I knew that Mirage was going to be Ordeals, that Mirage was going to have my TNT, and that I hadn't yet seen Dwarf Cave. And so it was inevitable that in one of those islands I'm going to see Dwarf Cave, so let me get the TNT first, and then let me get this, and then let me get this. And it just, you see that it sort of snowballs from a very simple hint.
I can tell you the difference between hint givers and not hint givers is about 5 minutes. Look at the stream.
Speaking of times, our finals for this stretch, we only had 4 runners, a pretty short Thursday run, but it was Shumbabi with a 54.49, followed by Herbie B with a 58.05, Jay Shadow with a 58.59, and Fryteeth coming up with a 59.48. So honestly, a pretty close run, all things considered.
Yeah, it seems like we all got into tow for about the same time. I was like, whoa.
A minute spread or thereabouts for the final 3. Speaking of any final thoughts? Let's wrap it up, starting with Shun Bobby.
I'll just give my usual thank you to yourself and Swanee for calming, for Aslato for restreaming, and it looks like Giganaut for tracking here. And good game to the other 3 racers. It's always fun to jump into one of these weekly events and hopefully help the Ducks see some vet play and some variations on what they might not get a chance to otherwise experience. And I hope I was entertaining nonetheless. But yeah, thank you to everyone, and I'll see you probably next week.
Thank you very much, Shun Bobby. Jay Scheidel, final thoughts.
Mirroring everything Shun just said. Thank you guys for putting this on. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it tonight or not, so it's weird being on this side of the comm instead of being on that side. But hey, get to play again one time. But thank you everyone for everything you guys do, and save the mermaids.
No. Thavian, any final thoughts from you, my friend?
Honestly, thank you for our runners. We got a short house tonight, so having Shun Bobby and Jay Shadell showing off different routings and the like to anyone who is interested in the randomizer, if they're not even part of it, it's great to have you guys. This is the Duckling Boot Camp, so this is a bunch of fresh-faced runners in the community getting your chance to show out, learn from our outstanding members of the community, just what this randomizer can do and how you can run it. So I am a duckling, and I will happily be participating in some of these races, but sometimes it's just nice to talk and let other people do the thing.
Exactly. And I mean, on top of that, we do still have a few more weeks of the Duck Boot Camp. We also have the Platy Party going on right now, as the next Platy Party race, I believe, is on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't checked to see what the theme of that one is, but we definitely have that coming up. On top of that, you know, with the Duck Derby right around the corner, we also are accepting submissions for our summer marathon. So if you come join the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord server and check out the announcements, you will be able to see a link in order to submit a run. So if there's anything that you might want to show off, feel free to give it a shot and throw in a submission. It's always a great time having the marathons. On top of all of that, we also have another tournament coming up not too long after the Duck Derby ends, which will be our summer co-op tournament. Details on that to be announced later. And then, you know, Jay, I told you you're not going to be able to make the plug, but I'm at least going to make the plug about the OJ Power Hour. Who are you having on next?
Oslato, unmute for a second. Is it, who is it?
I was about to say,
Thank you. It's been a long day.
I was about to say Ale Markin's in that grouping.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, if I remember correctly, except there will
Correct.
be 1 week coming up that you guys are taking off, right?
I think we're trying to fill it with something going on. There'll be a week that I'm taking off.
So there you go. Definitely stick around for all of that. We have a lot more stuff coming up. It's going to be a jam-packed few months, as well as just a bunch of fun. Is there anything else I have forgotten to mention? I mean, you mentioned the Lefanian Ladder alongside the OJ Power Hour, so I think that's about it.
In that case, how about I carry us on out?
Go for it.
Thank you very much to everyone who has been joining us to watch. If you're interested, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. There you will find the Final Fantasy Randomizer itself, as well as wikis, including access to guides, the Discord where you can join us and talk with us and compete with us in pickup races. You can even join up in the Duckling program, compete with us in these races, practice different randomizer modes ahead of the Duckling Derby. Honestly, it's just a great time. Welcome. All are welcome. With that, I am going to call myself very exhausted for the evening. I have been Thavian Hawk. Thank you to Sonny Rath for the co-coms, Oslauto for the track, or for the restreaming, and Giganoff for the tracking. Y'all have a good evening.